students, welcome back to my channel. So in today's lecture we are going to start the next topic from the chapter solutions, that is colligative properties. In the last video we have covered Raoult law. If you have not watched the video, please go and watch the previous videos. So now let us start with colligative property. Firstly, the question which arises is what exactly are colligative? Colligative properties are those properties of the solution which depend on the number of particles of the solute. These are only dependent on the number of solute particles, and they're independent of the nature of these particles. They will depend on the number of particles of the solute, but they will not depend on the nature of such particles. So such properties of the solution are called as colligative properties. Now, one more term which will be used in colligative properties a lot is NVS, that is non-volatile solute. Non-volatile, the name suggests that it is not volatile. It does not have its vapor pressure on its own. Non-volatile solutes are such solids which do not have their own vapor pressure. For example, you can take NaCl, glucose, urea, iodine or sulfur in CS2, cane sugar in water. All these are non-volatile solutes or non-volatile solids. So now, what is the use of these colligative properties? The use is they are used to calculate the molar mass of the solute. Now, the conditions where we can use colligative properties are: you must add a non-volatile solute in this. It is used for dilute solutions, and association or dissociation should not happen. There must not be any association or dissociation happening in the solution, then only colligative properties are applicable. So colligative properties are applicable for dilute solutions. For such solutions wherein no association or dissociation are happening, also you must add NVS, non-volatile solute, to the solvent to make the solution, and it is usually used to find the molar mass of the solute. Now, what are the types of colligative properties which we have to study? We have already covered this in the previous lecture. There are 4 types which you have to study. First is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Second one is depression in freezing point, elevation in boiling point, and last one is osmotic pressure. These are the 4 colligative properties that you are going to study in this particular chapter of solutions, right? Is it clear with everyone? Now let us move on to the first colligative property, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now understand this. What does this mean? First, forget the term relative. Focus on lowering of vapor pressure. Now, how this lowering of vapor pressure or decrease in vapor pressure happens? Now, suppose we are taking, let us assume that we are taking any volatile liquid. Volatile liquid, let us suppose any volatile liquid we are taking, and volatile liquid will have any vapor pressure on its own. Volatile liquid, as we all know, volatile liquids have their own vapor pressure. Now what happens is you're adding in NVS. I've just now told you what is NVS. This is non-volatile solute. Non-volatile solute, when you're adding to a volatile liquid, now what happens over there? Please understand this thing. Liquid plus any solute, matlab solute and a liquid, they'll give you a solution, right? This solution will also have a vapor pressure on its own, but non-volatile solute does not have any vapor pressure on its own. Now when you mix a volatile liquid or any liquid with the NVS, the solute particles are somewhat suspended on the surface of the solution. Solute particle remain on the surface of the solution at all times. At any given time, some solute particle would always be there on the surface of the solution. Now, as we know that vapor pressure is a surface phenomena, right? So the effective vapor pressure of the solution decreases. Why? Because on the surface there are solute particles, and the overall vapor pressure of the solution has decreased because of the presence of non-volatile solute on the surface, right? So now to sum up, the question which can be asked is, please write down the question and I'll tell you the answer also. The question which could be asked is, why vapor pressure of the solution decreases? Why vapor pressure of the solution decreases when you add an NVS to it? The answer is, whenever we add NVS to any volatile liquid or any liquid, some solute particles are always present on the surface of the liquid. Since they are non-volatile, these solutes which are present on the surface are non-volatile and they do not have any vapor pressure on its own. And vapor pressure, as we know that vapor pressure is a surface phenomena. Vapor pressure is a surface phenomena. Therefore, the effective vapor pressure decreases. Right? You can note this down. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property, and our main aim is to find the molar mass of the solute which is added. So we need to derive that, right? So we are going about the derivation of the molar mass of the non-volatile solute. So look over here, we have a liquid A which is volatile in nature, and PA naught is the vapor pressure of the pure liquid. This is the vapor pressure of the pure liquid A. PA naught is the vapor pressure of the pure liquid A. Now when you add any NVS, non-volatile solute, to a pure liquid, you get a solution, and let us assume that PS is the vapor pressure of solution. Vapor pressure of the resultant solution.
Now, according to Raoult's law, PS is equal to PA plus PB. This we have done. But here B is the NVS, non-volatile solute, and PB is 0 because NVS does not have any vapor pressure. Therefore, PS is equal to PA.
So since PS is equal to PA, yes or no? Just now we have studied PS is equal to PA, and we are going to substitute the value of PA. What is PA? From Raoult law, PA is equal to XA into PA naught. Do you remember? So we are just substituting the value. Now see, PS is equal to, can I write for XA 1 minus XB? Can I write? Because XA plus XB would be equal to 1. So therefore XA becomes equal to 1 minus XB, and then PA naught is already there. Yes or no? Now we'll open the brackets. PS becomes equal to PA naught minus XB into PA naught. Yes or no? So PS becomes equal to, now get this on the right hand side. So XP into PA naught becomes equal to PA naught minus PS. This is lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure. This is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. Right. Now, therefore, XP is equal to PA naught minus PS upon, just put this in the denominator, PA naught. Did you get this? This is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure. So this means that, see, initially when no NVS was added, when the liquid was pure, that is A, pure liquid A. Now when you added NVS, so you got the vapor pressure decreased, lowering of vapor pressure. So this is PA naught minus PS is the lowering of vapor pressure. Pure minus the solution vapor pressure. This is nothing but vapor pressure of the pure liquid A minus vapor pressure of the solution. This will give you the lowering of vapor pressure. Now XB stands for mole fraction of B. This is the, when you calculate XB from this formula, PA naught is sent in the denominator. This is nothing but relative lowering. Relative means we compare it with something. We are comparing it with the pure liquid A, PA naught, right? Lowering of vapor pressure is nothing but your reduction. This is nothing but reduction in vapor pressure. Reduction in vapor pressure whenever any NVS is added. Pure minus the solution. This is the solution's vapor pressure. This is the reduction in vapor pressure, or in technical terms we'll call it as lowering of vapor. Full derivation. So what we'll do now, we know that colligative properties are applicable to what? Applicable to dilute liquids. Yes or no? Dilute solutions or dilute liquids. So I have this formula, xp is equal to Pa naught minus Ps upon Pa naught. I have just now derived. Now can I write in place of xp Nb upon Na plus Nb? I can write. This is the formula of xp. Yes or no? Then this will be equal to Pa naught minus Ps upon Pa naught. I've just substituted the value of xp. But for dilute solutions, Nb is very less than Na. Number of moles of the solute particles are very less than the number of solvent for dilute solutions, obviously. So can I neglect Nb in the denominator? Can I neglect Nb in the denominator? So what will the formula become? The formula will become as Nb upon Na is equal to this Pa naught. Right hand side is same. What I have done? I have neglected Nb in the denominator. Why? Because Nb is very small. Very small. Why? Because these are dilute solutions. Right. Now substitute the value of Nb. Nb is Wb upon Mb. Yes or no? And what is Na? Wa upon Ma. Ma goes up. Very simple. Is equal to Pa naught minus Ps. Right hand side is same. Did you get this? Now can't you find the molar mass of the solute Mb from this? Can't we find Mb? That was our aim. That is to be found. That is the... Now let us do one numerical based on relative lowering of vapor pressure. See the question. 6 grams of urea. Molecular weight of urea is given 60 grams per mole, was dissolved in 90 grams of water. That means urea is a solute, water is a solvent. If the vapor pressure of water at that temperature is 100 mm of Hg, find these 4 things you have to find. Ps, that is pressure of the solution, lowering of vapor pressure, relative lowering of vapor pressure, and mole fraction of B. So pause the video and then try to solve it on your own. Then we'll do the solution. Now let us see the solution. First thing, you have to find, any which ways you have to find the number of moles of both A and B. So what will be urea? Let us say that urea is a solute, so urea is B and water is A. So what is NB? Number of moles of urea, given weight of urea upon molecular weight of urea. This is 0.1. Similarly, what is Na? Number of moles of water, given weight of water divided by molecular weight of water. It becomes the 90. Yes or no? Yes or no? So you have Nb, you have Na. So just now we have derived Nb upon Na is equal to what? This is nothing but Xb. Just now we have calculated, and Xb is equal to Pa naught minus Ps upon Pa naught. Yes or no? So we'll just use this relationship. So it implies that Nb, what is Nb? 0.1 upon 5 is equal to Pa naught. Pressure, vapor pressure of A, that is urea, vapor pressure of A, that is water, pure, 100 minus Ps we have to calculate upon 100. So if you will cross multiply, you will get, it implies Ps is equal to, just cross multiply and find the answer. Ps, you will get 98 mm of Hg. Just solve it. You will get 98 mm of Hg. Right? So Ps we have calculated. Now second thing, lowering of vapor pressure. What was lowering of vapor pressure equal to? This is the number 1 which you have to find. Number 2, lowering of vapor pressure. Remember the formula of lowering of vapor pressure, Xp into Pa naught was equal to Pa naught minus Ps. Yes or no? This I told you, this is nothing but this is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. This is lowering of vapor pressure. So simply what you are supposed to do, 100 minus PS. Just now we have calculated 90, that is 2 mm of Hg. This is the lowering of vapor pressure, right? Third, relative lowering of vapor pressure, just divide this by xp was equal to PA naught minus PS upon PA naught. This was relative lowering of vapor pressure formula. Relative lowering of vapor pressure, because relative means you are what? You are comparing it with the original pressure of the pure solvent. PA naught minus PS, just now we have calculated 2 upon 100, that is 0.02 mm of Hg. Yes or no? So and this relative lowering of vapor pressure is nothing but equal to xp. So xp and relative lowering of vapor pressure both are same, that is 0.02 mm of Hg. So we have calculated both 3 and 4 also. So just now you saw how easy such questions are to be attempted. So this was about relative lowering of vapor pressure. First, this was the first colligative property. Next time we will do elevation and boiling point. So if you like this video, please like, share. Thank you so much for watching.